This is Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all the things to do. Today I've got something very unique and I don't know that I'd say one of a kind, but maybe 1,000 of a kind or 5,000 of a kind to show you. It's not something you're going to come across every day. Can you see what I'm talking about? This is a Mountain Dew Xbox. What is a Mountain Dew Xbox? Why does this thing exist? Does it even work? We'll talk about all of those things. Stay tuned. Now, there are different and competing stories about the nature and rarity of this Xbox. It depends on who you're asking and who's doing the asking what they will tell you. Some sources will say they produced up to 5,000 of these, and others will tell you only 1,000 of them were produced. The truth is, nobody knows the exact number other than it's definitely not common, because you can buy a standard Xbox in any thrift store, any game store, anywhere, and you will probably never come across one of these in the wild. And if you see one in a game store, it'll be in a locked case and it'll have a very high price tag on it. Now, this one did not come with a high price tag, and there are a few reasons for that. This was a completely refurbished Xbox. It was DOA when the person who got it, which is my friend Fix It Phil, came across it. He had to remove the B cap and replace all the caps inside and replace the DVD drive and basically rebirth this thing from the dead to get it into a working state, which I will demonstrate here in a little bit. But that's not the only reason I didn't pay the full asking price for this Xbox. Once we get around the corner, I think you'll really be able to tell that this thing took a bump somewhere along the line, like a pro wrestler. See that corner right there? Yeah, somebody either dropped this thing or it got too hot and it broke apart. But either way, this is not a cosmetically perfect Mountain Dew Xbox. I still haven't told you why such a thing even exists, have I? Well, it was a promotional contest and they were giving you not a free Xbox, but the right to buy an Xbox, if that even makes any sense. Maybe it will when I explain it. What you had to do is, back when the contest was going on, which was from April to August of 2004, you had to collect loyalty points by drinking Mountain Dew. I don't know whether it was a UPC code or some sort of promotional code you would enter into a website, but either way, you would only get it from drinking Mountain Dew. And once you tallied up 550 points during that time span, you could purchase an Xbox in this edition for 550 of your points plus $99.99. I don't know if tax and shipping were also included in that, but either way, a minimum of 550 points and about $100. And who knows how much the Mountain Dew you would have had to drink would have cost. I mean, what do we say? Like 25, 50 points a 12 pack? What's a 12 pack back then? $4 or $5? You do the math. So you're going to be consuming a lot of empty calories if you drink all that Mountain Dew. Or I suppose you could just buy it, not drink it, and keep the codes. But either way, you're going to a lot of time and effort and trouble to acquire this Xbox. And that's why people suspect there are not that many of them out in the wild, because how many dedicated Mountain Dew drinkers were also dedicated Xbox players were also willing to go to that much time, effort, and trouble? You could just go to any store, any Best Buy, any Target, whatever, and buy a regular Xbox. Just put your money down and not have to drink any Mountain Dew. So the prices on these when they go up for auction vary wildly. Now, according to price charting, the last one that sold was a year ago for $600, which is also the current estimated average. But they've gone for less and they've gone for more, so determining the actual value is pretty hard to do. But suffice it to say, they don't go up for sale very often. But I did say I would demonstrate that this one works, since it has been refurbished by my friend Fix-It Phil. So if you will allow me the latitude of completion, I will pause this video for a second, plug it in, and you will see it working. Now, just for funsies here, I've plugged in my Hunter wireless controller because the green matches the green aesthetic of this Mountain Dew Xbox. But without further ado, I did say I was going to demonstrate that it works, so I'm hitting the power button now. And hopefully you are hearing the familiar Xbox music behind me. But if that doesn't convince you, I will pan up the camera. Let me turn and face it the correct way. And there is no date and time set because this was not plugged in, so I'm going to have to set that manually. Let me move the tripod over a little bit so you get a better straight on shot of the screen here. As best I can with the setup I have over here. I'll set this in front of the TV and pan it down a little bit, zoom out a little bit so the moire pattern isn't quite so bad. Suppose I can move this gaming keyboard out of the way so you can see things a little better. All right, let's start by setting the date, shall we? I think it's shortly after 5 o'clock as I film this. And we are in late May of 2025, a time no Xbox could ever have dreamed of still being online. And as you can see here, we do not have any kind of boot menu or customization. This is stock, and it's displaying in the original aspect ratio. I'm only upscaling it through component video out to a RetroTink to my television. This is not an HDMI modded Xbox in any way, shape, or form. Now let me grab a game we can put in here. I feel like something absurd is appropriate for the situation, so Outlaw Golf Holiday Golf 9 Holes of Christmas just seems like the right choice for this situation. I think we want the interactive demo, not that trailer. And we shall wait for it to finish booting up. I might want to turn down the volume just a little bit. Yeah, that was cranked pretty high. So yes, as you can see, this is a fully working Xbox. Just one with a Mountain Dew jewel on the top and a green tint all the way around. And again, nobody knows how many of these there really are out there. They may have made as many as 5,000, but even if they did, they may have only sold 1,000 of them due to the requirements and the limited number of people who were interested. And frankly, I don't care that mine is cosmetically flawed because I got a good deal on it. And that also shows that this was a working system that somebody actually played when they bought it, as opposed to somebody just getting shelf candy and never doing anything with it. I think I would rather have one that's a little bit flawed, that had to be refurbished and restored, as opposed to one that was cosmetically perfect but dead on arrival and doesn't do anything. So to me, that's an acceptable level of trade-off. Anyway, you've seen that it works, you know what it is, and it's quite a story. It's easily the most valuable thing I have for Xbox, next to maybe Futurama. It's worth more than Futurama, though, I know that. And I don't have Steel Battalion, and I don't have any dev kits, so neither of those are an option. So as far as it goes right now, this is my most treasured Xbox item, and one that I am probably not going to be able to top anytime in the future, because I got a good deal on it. So thank you, Phil, for thinking of me and knowing this would go to a good home and that I wouldn't immediately turn around and flip it. You made the right call by letting me get it, and I really appreciate that you got it back into working order. So that's the Mountain Dew Limited Edition Xbox story. I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and thank you for watching.